Ben Nichols, welcome back to the podcast. I'm excited to have this chat with you today.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
this will be fun. So let's talk. So you've been on the podcast before. For anybody that did not listen to your previous episode, you were the owner of Divine Brewing right here in Palm Harbor, right across the street from where we're recording. We talked a lot about your business and your start into that in the previous podcast, so people can go check that out to learn more about that. But today we want to talk more about downtown Palm Harbor. It's something you've been quite involved with and just helping this city grow and stuff. Before we do that, what's changed in your business? Let's touch on that for a quick moment. Just like what's changed in your business in the last couple of years in the brewery industry?
I mean, the brewing industry is changing crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are closing. Everything has tripled in price as far as like grains, hops,
Yeah.
aluminum, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, cans, everything
okay.
has, power, CO2. I mean, like little things people don't think about, friends of ours just closed their brewery 2 days ago over in Tampa.
Oh, wow.
Make great beer. You know what I mean? Just it's hard right now. So the brewing industry is definitely going to change. It already is changing, but everybody's going to start seeing, a lot of people start dropping out and falling out and stuff like that.
Do you think it's been like over? I have seen a couple others now that you mentioned it. The smaller breweries that have shut the doors. Maybe they're open for a couple of years. Is that do you think it's I think the Airbnb market in Palm Harbor is kind of similar where it became oversaturated. Do you think the brewery industry too, same kind of
Yeah,
idea?
100%. Yeah, it definitely got oversaturated, and it's also not as cool now after COVID. The big
Interesting.
boom.
Yeah.
Like there was that big boom when Cigar City was big,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they sold Oscar Blues or whichever big one they sold to, and
Yeah.
and then everybody opened a brewery. Everybody opened a brewery. And I was that same one 8 years, and I opened mine in 2015. And it's just after COVID, things changed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just the little guys closing.
Yeah.
There's big guys closing
ones
too,
too.
nationwide. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no longer fun and profitable like it was,
Yeah.
7 years ago.
I'm sure that's kind of like a normal cycle, I would imagine, of like small businesses. Some industry blows up and then it kind of like filters back down.
Yeah.
Big guys step in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
interesting.
we're lucky enough to where we're established. We've been established, and I own the building and stuff like that. We're not in any
Smart.
debt. So we're allowed, we can get through the hard times.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
we'll
you're
be all right.
operating lean,
Yeah.
as they would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I mean,
Smart.
everything is good. I mean, the community's still out there. I mean,
Yeah.
we're still having fun doing it. It's just a little bit harder to make a dollar now.
Yeah. And I will say, like, your brewery, like, so when I first started, when breweries like blew up, like you said before, like some of the first breweries we went to were in North Carolina, and a lot of them have a similar like vibe and feel of what yours is, where it was just like a concrete floor slab warehouse building.
Yeah.
And they had a little, wooden bar they set up. They were making beer in the back, and it was just people there just wanting to drink good beer and have a good time, you know. But your vibe is very similar to that, where it's like simple, just come have a good time, enjoy yourself.
That's it. Easy. We got music, we got comedy.
Yeah.
We try to make it easy and relaxing as possible.
Yeah.
And like I said, the team that I have that I work with, they're the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they make my job a lot easier.
Yeah, that's good. That's helpful.
That's very helpful.
Yeah. So so we want to talk about downtown Palm Harbor. Like, since you've been in business, like what have you seen change in downtown, and how have things?
So whenever I first started down here, there was already a merch association established down here. There was a Main Street program right before I opened up.
Okay.
That was doing the Parrot Head festivals and all the big festivals, stuff like that downtown. But everybody didn't get along. The merchants didn't get along with the chamber. The chamber didn't get along with, the Main Street program and all that kind of stuff.
And so before you dive into there's really like those three, I don't know what you would call them, like entities or associations, are the three that kind of like run downtown and the events and everything, right? The chamber, the Merchants Association, and the Main Street program.
Well, we're going to get the Main Street program back up and going, but also don't forget about Parks and Rec.
Oh, and Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, they have the Whitechapel and Harbor Hall,
Yes.
the baseball field, Pop Stansel,
Okay.
and all that. And they are huge in developing and wanting to do stuff
Okay.
Erica Linford, especially. You know, I mean,
Okay.
she puts all of her time into making downtown Palm Harbor. Well, I guess Palm Harbor in a whole,
Yeah.
as better.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that's the main entities that do the things down here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you were saying, like, what is like, how have those entities changed? How is like the scene in downtown Palm Harbor changed?
So the scene has changed a bunch because I mean, you had Peggy's for a
Yeah.
while. I mean, you had certain things, and I mean, this is definitely a drinking town.
Yeah.
People like to drink in Palm Harbor,
Yep.
that's for sure. Peggy's closing was a big hit.
Big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was a big hit. I mean that hurt Palm Harbor for sure. And then nobody else can bring anything in. Thank God for Fireside, Cool Side, and Fatties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like thank God for those three.
Yeah.
Because they keep Palm Harbor alive.
Yeah.
But in 2015, I don't know if you know, but about the lighting district, about all the lights and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
So I think it was 2015. The Merchants Association at the time got BP grant money through Pinellas County.
Okay.
And a bunch of money, $250,000, something like that. Put in all new lights, landscaping, do all this stuff. They did put in lights. They did some stuff, but they didn't keep up to their end of the bargain. So they ended up abolishing themselves. 2016, probably something like that.
This is the Merchants Association. Okay.
Yeah, it's Palm Harbor Merchants Association, and they signed a contract with the county that they would keep up with all the right of way, trees, lights, all that stuff.
Okay.
In order to get that money.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Okay.
And you can see the lights are falling down. Lights are breaking.
Yeah.
Half of them don't work. They don't work very well. So the chamber kind of stepped in and started taking over because you have to have insurance for the right of way. If you want, all this, there's a whole bunch of stuff which you're going to start learning more about.
Yeah.
I
can't wait.
Yeah, it's fun.
No, it's cool. I say that jokingly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, and there's so much that we can get done.
Yeah.
There's so much that we can get done.
Yeah,
and the fact that we have the support of Pinellas County and the commissioner, stuff like that, blows my mind. People are taking advantage of it.
It's massive, yeah.
But so once that the merchants went away, the chamber kind of set back a little bit. They took over some of the stuff, but as far as events and goes and stuff, then there's no more Parrot Head Festival or what was it, Rocktoberfest, I think was a big one downtown.
Yeah.
All that stuff, which was put on by the Main Street program at first, and then it went to the Merchants Association, and then the Merchants Association kind of broke up.
Okay.
And then during COVID, nothing was happening, and the county actually reached out to me and a couple other people and to see if we can get things back up and going again as far as the merchants group getting events going, getting money back into downtown Palm Harbor and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And that's what we've been working on. I mean, pretty much since COVID. And there's been a handful of us that have been doing a whole bunch of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of work behind the scenes.
Yeah. And so like these entities, right? Like the main way, I mean, the chamber, like you have members of the chamber, right? So that's how they get their funded. But all the events that go on in downtown, it's really people coming out to support those events, and then those funds are then used to help improve downtown and stuff, correct?
I mean, that's my, as the merchants, I mean, that's my only goal is to get money for downtown Palm Harbor.
Yeah.
To where other people come in and they make money. Not going to point at anybody specifically, but there's other people that close the streets down and they make the money for themselves.
I see.
To where we close the streets down, we put on an event, all that money goes back into downtown Palm Harbor.
Yeah.
All of it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
which makes sense.
And that's my biggest thing. Cause I mean, you go down there, it looks like
it's
trash.
Vacant. It's vacant.
Yeah. And who wants to go, well, let's go to Palm Harbor,
Yeah.
But that's the main thing we're doing now is just trying to, and the county, like I said, is working with us. They're giving us grants. I mean, they're doing, the sheriff's department is working with us. That we get cops for free. I don't know if, 3 times a year for 3 events. The sheriff's department does events for us for free.
Okay.
And that was worked out between the sheriff and commissioners or whatever it was years ago. And even the fire department now, the fire department's on board. So they come out, I mean, work with us, tell us what we got to do. We really have a good thing going right now.
Yeah.
We just got to keep it going.
Keep the momentum. And that seems like that's been like over the years. I grew up in this area, but I haven't known like the history of Palm Harbor and stuff or seen it like firsthand, like most people have. But that seems to be the biggest obstacle with downtown Palm Harbor. Kind of like we were talking about before. There's no real there's no city mayor, there's no central direction or authority to like, okay, this is how we're going to do things, and then keep everybody together and on the same page for an extended period of time
Right.
to make some changes.
And I will say this, for the first time, from what I hear in history, the merchants, the chamber, everybody's working together and getting along.
I
To
love
where
it.
the chamber and the merchants used to fight for stuff.
Crazy.
Everybody used to fight. Nobody got
Yeah.
along, you
Yeah.
know. And even when I became president of the merchants, Dean was the president of the president of the chamber, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he was president or whatever he was.
I think they call him president.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But him and I, got together and met with a couple other people and like, well, why are we fighting? Like,
Yeah.
let's do this together.
Right.
And Dean did a good thing, man. I mean, like he really
Yeah.
helped, in my opinion, the chamber get to a certain point,
For sure.
establish relationships and start working together. And we still do now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all still working together.
Yeah.
And we're getting grant money through Pinellas County. The chamber has agreed that they will also put money in to downtown instead of, keeping it, for whatever, they do with it all.
Awesome.
But, they're going to help us as well. Parks and Rec is going to help us.
Yeah.
Everybody's helping us.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Which is good. That's what we need. And now we just need to like some momentum.
So yeah, that's the hard that's the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's like with anything, right? Like anytime you're trying to get a group of people together to focus on like one common goal, like there's challenges there, there's struggles. And I think more so like when you have a bunch of business owners that I don't know, like a lot of times business owners have like egos and stuff that kind of get in the way in certain things. So to balance all that out and to find that central voice, central direction is difficult.
It is difficult, but right now we do have it.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, right now we do have the camaraderie. I mean, everybody is working together. And there's an advisory committee right now that we meets once a month behind the scenes, and you came to the last one.
Yep.
And those are people that have lived here forever, own business here. Matt, the president of the chamber now, I mean, he goes to those meetings. And then, commissioners, Pinellas County, we meet every month and we're getting money funneled into downtown.
Yeah.
People don't, little things like the flags, garbage cans, you know what I mean? Like, but stuff like that is happening, and there's more money that we can get and spend.
Yeah.
It's just getting people on board,
with the projects, right?
With the projects, and I can give you a perfect example of the lighting district.
Yeah.
These lights are an issue. They've been an issue. They break. Pinellas County is not responsible for them because there was, all this, paperwork that was done years ago or whatever. Pinellas County still comes out. If there's a broken pole, they still come out and take care of it, even though they're not supposed to and stuff. So we have fought to get this lighting district, Pinellas or downtown Palm Harbor, under the state of Florida, is a historic district. So you can get federal money, state money, you can do all this stuff if you're recognized as a Main Street program. And Newport Richey just did it, actually, downtown Newport Richey.
Okay.
And it completely changed.
Yeah.
I mean, completely changed. I mean, it went from looking raggedy to now you go down there. I mean, it's beautiful. And landscaping. I mean, everything is beautiful.
And people talk about, I mean, just the talk of like downtown Newport Richey is different now.
It is.
Right.
You got restaurants that are moving in. You got breweries that are moving in. I mean, you have, it's a destination
people
now.
Want to be there. Yeah.
People want to be there to where, 5 years ago, people didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
So we're getting the funds and stuff, so it's like the lighting district. That's been one of our biggest things that I've been working with the county with, are the lights.
Yeah.
It's not bright enough. The lights that were bought back in the day, they're dark. They break. They're very cheap. I mean, they break all the time.
Yeah.
So Pinellas County, we've been working with Pinellas County, and they have agreed to have Duke Energy come in, and we've already done all this work. Duke Energy's already come in. They've made an assessment of what needs to be done and all this stuff, and it came out to almost $500,000, $500,000. Was going to take all the old light poles out, put all new ones in, but beautiful ones.
Yeah.
Beautiful lights, almost like downtown Dunedin. And I don't want to compare us to downtown Dunedin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause I don't think Palm Harbor will ever be like Dunedin.
Right.
But as far as the way it looks, and the feel of it, that's what we're trying to go for.
Right.
So the county agreed, well, if we can get, we can get this lighting district, if we can get 60% of the signatures from property owners and this, like, to pay the bill, because it's going to be, came out to like $3,000 a month, whatever it is. So Pinellas County agreed, okay, hey, we'll fork up all the money up front to get
To
it
put them
done.
in
We just got the property owners, and it's like $900 a year
to
that goes on your
maintain
property
that.
taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, $900 a year.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying $900 isn't a lot of money.
Yeah. Right.
But if you own a business or you own that property in downtown Palm Harbor, $900 a year is not a lot of money to light it up and make it beautiful.
Yeah.
And
right.
we're getting so much pushback. And it's the same people that complain, nothing happens in Palm Harbor. We're trying to make things happen, and then you say no. So it's like it's that battle.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And it's kind of like we were talking about before, right? Anytime there's growth or development in an area, I've seen it before, where it's just like there's always a group of people, or some people that want to keep it the old way, and I totally get that. I understand that too. But there's also like there's opportunity with the growth and everything that comes along with that, right? And I think, like you said, just like lighting it up, like cleaning it up. I mean, I drive through here, every day, and just driving down Florida Ave after the storm and stuff, there's still like debris and stuff like all down.
Still.
So it's like that puts like you're driving through and you're like, I don't want to come down here.
Yeah, it looks like trash, you know? And, and there's a couple properties that I actually reached out to them and said, hey, like, I'm gonna get a whole code enforcement. Like, I understand, like, your property's just sitting there, but you got to keep it up.
Right.
I mean, for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like you said, you drive down there, it's like, I'm not stopping here.
Yeah.
I'm not coming
What's
here.
going on here?
Yeah. Nothing. That's the issue.
Right,
Nothing is happening,
Yeah. So what do you, like, what's your vision? Like, what do you see happening in downtown Palm Harbor?
Well, there's a couple of the vacant lots that they've already been approved by Pinellas County to build their buildings.
Okay.
And I understand, everything's high now as far as cost, construction wise, and stuff like that. And that's why one of the properties didn't move further, because I mean, everything just went up.
Costs skyrocketed.
And I get it. If you don't have the money, you don't have the money. But I see, once these two main guys do something with their properties, and what they vision to do it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's almost like what Mike did with that other building, that restaurant that's empty now, the old Buchanan.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Gucci went in and he put money in that building, made it beautiful. Now he's got to get somebody to go in there.
Yeah.
Once the other two guys that are catty corner to him do that as well, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
We get the lighting put through. Beautiful. We can put lights in the trees, and Pinellas County's backing it up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, Pinellas County is like, hey, we're going to give you this money.
We're here for it.
Yeah. And nobody wants to do it.
Yeah. And I, like, you're right. Like, once those two buildings are like, I mean, that alone, those two buildings are going to bring multiple businesses into so that's huge. Right. And just changes. And then it's kind of like the new Port Richey, where you get some momentum, you get some other businesses in here, and people are like, oh yeah, I want to move my business to downtown Palm Harbor.
Yeah. I
think that's the biggest thing now, is like we were just talking about, like you drive down here and you're like, even as a consumer, like, you don't want to come down here, but as a business owner too, like, I'm not going to come put my business down here. No. It's risky.
Right.
Yeah. Owning a business is already risky enough.
If you look at, and like I said, I don't want to compare us to Dunedin or Newport Richey even, but you can park your car and walk that entire strip, and people do. There's things to do.
Yeah.
Stop and get something to eat, get ice cream, go shop in a boutique or whatever. There's so much stuff to do. Palm Harbor, there's nothing to do. Right? So people, and
right.
What's crazy? And so, I'm right across the street from downtown.
Yeah.
People, if I don't have any parking in my parking place, they'll go somewhere else. They won't go across Florida Avenue and park and walk across.
Oh, wow.
They'll go somewhere else. Where Dunedin, yeah, you find a parking spot and you walk to where you're going to go. But there's stuff to do. There's stuff to look at. It's, it's pleasing.
Yeah.
To where downtown, like I said, you're walking, at night it's dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like abandoned everywhere,
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's that. Hopefully we can get, the lights and the landscaping done, and those people start building the buildings, and, so I mean, I think in a couple of years we'll be there.
Yeah.
It's just, we got to get.
It takes time.
It does take time.
I think that's the, like, like we talked about before, like having like everybody working together for an extended period of time. It's not just like, okay, yeah, we're good for a year and then people change or whatever, because that's going to happen, right? Businesses are going to come and go, or people in those spots are going to come and go. But just having that like direction to keep going forward for 5, 10, 15 years and get some momentum going.
And the main entities, like you said earlier, the merchants, the chamber, the main streets getting reestablished, all that, everybody's working together.
Yeah.
Now we just got to get the community, we got to get the people on board.
Yeah.
And it's the same ones that'll come to a meeting and complain about something. And it's like, hey, we're going to do this. I don't know. Like, oh,
yeah.
Come on, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So how did you get involved in all of this and the merchants and all that kind of stuff, and why?
I got involved whenever I started the business. I became a member of the chamber and a member of the merchants. I didn't really have much to do with any say or anything like that. But whenever COVID hit, well, right before COVID hit, I think the merchants kind of abolished themselves, or it was still whatever it was. And it was a mess. And then during COVID, I got a phone call from a local guy, Joe Sweat, actually, who owns a couple businesses around here. And then Dean, who was a president of the chamber at the time, and a couple county administrators. We all got together, and like Phil Phillips, who's a resident, been here forever, owns, but local guy, we all got together for an advisory committee, essentially, to say, hey, what are we going to do with downtown? And we have Nancy McKibben, who works for the county. Like that's her job, her focus is Palm Harbor, downtown Palm Harbor. You know what I mean? They literally moved her office to the Whitechapel. You know what I mean? So she's here. But we all meet, and there's MSTU grant money that we can get if you're a nonprofit and you have to spend it for downtown. All this stuff. So that's the main thing that I got involved in. Once I saw the support that we had from Pinellas County, and I saw that the chamber, who's a pretty big deal around here, they were involved. Parks and Rec, there's a FIXA board that looks over the YMCA's and Whitechapel baseball field, stuff like that, libraries. They also are on board, because they're all here. Like I said, Erica Linford, she's I don't know exactly what she does at Parks and Rec, but she's like one of the top dogs. And that's one of her main focuses is this. So once you see all the support from the big guys, it's like, all right, it's pretty easy.
I can get on board with
this. It's pretty easy to fall in with it, And I kind of honestly just kind of got pushed into these roles of being the merchant president and with the Main Street program coming up and stuff like that. I'm kind of just getting pushed into it. But at the end of the day, I live here. My businesses are here. And I want to see it grow. I want to see the potential's there, and everybody knows it's there. That's the thing. It's like it's there. You just got to get it done.
The work is what's holding people back.
That's what's holding people.
It's a lot
back.
of work too.
It is a lot of work. But at the end of the day, it's work, but it's going to benefit everybody. In my opinion, it's going to benefit everybody.
Oh, for sure. The businesses, the residents, people visiting Palm Harbor.
Yeah, we got to bring people here in order to get money here, and that's the thing. So that's kind of how I got involved with it. Was I was asked to get involved. That's just kind of history. Now, like with the Main Street program, now they're asking me to head that up and do that. So we're doing that, and I got an invite coming out and see that it's done and all that stuff. For the next
we're excited
meeting.
for that.
So. But it's really not hard to get on board once you who's Pinellas County giving $500,000 to?
Right.
And I might get in trouble for saying this. I don't even know.
We'll find out.
It's all public. It's all public record, I'm sure. But it's like, they're literally wanting to give us stuff. And you know what I mean? And the county, and it's not, like I said, it's not just the county, it's the sheriff's department, it's the fire department. They're all donating time and all that stuff. All of it. So it's like, they're handing it to us. We just got to get everybody on board. And
that's that you go back to like saying, like everybody wants to see downtown Palm Harbor do something and grow, right? So I like that. How can the community get involved to help? Like what are some ways they can be involved Is it just like attending the events that happen?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, attending the events, volunteering their time.
Yeah.
I volunteer a lot of time, and I'm not gonna, oh, I do this, I do that,
Yeah.
but it's like all the events
What you
that go
do.
on.
Yeah.
I'm there from sun up to sundown, and there's people from the county. I'll even say like Sean Tipton, he works for Public Works. That dude's out there at 5 o'clock in the morning with me
Mm-hmm.
all day, and then he's there until 3 o'clock the following morning picking
Wow.
up garbage with me.
Wow.
I mean, so it's just little things like that, getting people to volunteer, to show up to events, advertising it, promoting it, um, just picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you said, you go down there, there's still debris and stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know multiple people. Joe Sweat still does it. Goes around and empties these garbage cans for free.
Oh yeah.
He still goes around and empties his garbage cans downtown.
Who's responsible for that right now? Is that like the county does that?
No, it's actually it's technically the chamber's responsibility because they're the ones that got the MSTU grant at the time in order to put in the garbage cans.
I see. Okay.
So it's
So
technically
part of getting that grant is like maintaining them.
correct.
Okay.
All this stuff we have to maintain the right of way, and that's the biggest issue that Pinellas County is trying to get accomplished. Is
Yeah.
get an organization that is organized enough to take care of,
Right.
pretty much not necessarily hold up to that agreement that was signed whenever it was 2014, or not necessarily that all the way, but trying to get to where Pinellas County isn't responsible,
Sure.
liable.
Yeah.
So Joe Sweat goes in and does all this stuff for free. He doesn't have to do that.
Right.
Yeah, like he does not have any responsibility to that, but he does.
Yeah.
So if we could just get more, it's like, okay, I'll go back to this lighting district. Everybody wants more light. Everybody wants it to look beautiful down there. Okay. Well, then sign this petition.
Right.
Pinellas County's going to give us the money, and it goes on your property taxes annually. I think it comes out to a little over $900 or maybe $1,000,
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
And getting people to sign. Like I was supposed to meet with somebody today, right before I came here. This person's told me to meet them 5 times. Already told me verbally that they would do it. Never
Won't
shows
do
up.
it. Yeah.
And it's like they're one of the bigger people down here. So it's like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like you want change. Well, help me.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Help me.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. So like community involvement, like volunteering and stuff, how do people, because this is a question I have, how do people, where do they get information on like where they can volunteer and how they can be involved?
So that is one of the biggest problems is communication.
From these entities and businesses to the public, right?
Yeah. So we have been trying to, and I say we, the advisory committee, the merchants, the chamber, Parks and Rec, we've all been trying to get a community calendar, trying to get
right.
one like, main hub, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
That just hasn't gotten done yet. And it's just a lack of communication between us as the entities that are doing it, for sure. But hopefully and it's small, everything's much smaller right now.
Right.
The merchants is a very small group. The people that are involved at the chamber is a very small group. And then, with Parks and Rec, we all got our own things going on, but once this other one gets established, it's going to be more people on the board. It's going to be a little bit more organized, and we'll have people that are actually, I'm not a social media guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not the guy
Yeah.
that sends out emails to people and you know what I mean? But with a new thing that we're getting established, the Main Street program and all that, there will be somebody that does that. There will be somebody that gets a community calendar. There will be somebody, that gets it out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not the best at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the chamber, they got a lot of stuff going on. I know Parks and Rec, everybody's got stuff going on. So
Right.
this Main Street program that's going to get established is really, I think, going to be the key.
It ties it all together.
It ties it all together.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. So we talked before, but I had a post recently on social media where we talked about like downtown Palm Harbor and like asking the community like what they want to see. And so I wrote down some of the things here and I just want to like get your thoughts on them and then we can chat about them and stuff. But Number one is like people, I got this, a couple people mentioned this, but having murals downtown, like more murals in the buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I
it?
like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So I was gonna do a mural in my building.
Yeah.
Pinellas County told me I couldn't.
They could or
I
couldn't?
could not.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, because you can only have so much signage for your business. So if I wanted to paint a pelican on a dock, I could do that. But I couldn't have anything that had to do with beer
Divine.
or hops or
Oh, wow.
grain or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, I think murals are great. And Pinellas County does have a department that does that.
Yeah.
So if people would agree to it, then yeah, we could do it. But what building gonna put it on? Where are you gonna put a mural?
We need a
In the
building.
grass?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Murals are actually Les Olson, the jewelry store.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just saw that they're painting a mural on theirs.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, and by the way, they're great people. Like they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
involved. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They get involved. I mean,
Good.
they come to the meetings, and that's we need more people like them.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they legit care about downtown. Obviously, their business is here. They're local people,
Yeah.
but they show up. They don't mind putting in the work that needs to be put in. We need more people like them.
Yeah.
Honestly, but they are doing a mural. I did see that.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's not, so theirs doesn't have anything to do with their business then, or
I
it's
don't
just a
know.
mural?
Yeah.
Or,
Well, see, unfortunately, I asked permission because my good friend works.
but it's interesting because it's your building, right? You
Right.
own the building, but you can't.
Pinellas County has a law, rule,
Okay.
whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, that you can only have so much signage.
Commercial signage because
Correct. You know what I mean? Or people would have a billboard the size of, in front of their business.
What's the limit there? They have like a certain, like, okay, you only can have like a 12 by 12 sign.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because whenever I did my building, I had a sign on the back of my building that was grandfathered in, but I didn't want it. And they told me, like, well, once you take that down, you can't get that signage back. I was like, even if I put it somewhere else, I go, no, once you take it down, you can't put it back up.
Oh,
You gotta be
man.
kidding me. So I wanted to do a mural. Already paid this guy, had everything drawn up. So I asked my buddy, I'm like, should I ask permission? He's like, well, technically you should. So then that just opened up a can of worms. Then I got told I couldn't. I was like,
Yeah.
gosh darn it, you know what?
Yeah.
But
It's like what's the right thing to do, and
right,
then
yeah. But
what
I,
should
yeah,
you
I
do?
love murals.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the next door to Thirst? Salty Lime.
Yeah.
They got a big mural on the side of their building, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Big Carts has that big mural on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
front.
They did theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are some mural, and the guy across the street from me on Florida Avenue has a mural.
Isn't their mural? It says like big time carts.
Yeah.
I wonder if they didn't ask.
They didn't ask.
Oh,
Well, I don't know if they asked or not, but obviously not, because they would have gotten told no. No, I literally,
because they have their sign out front
Yes.
too.
It's
And
funny you said that, because I was told no, and then literally like 2 weeks later, they got the front of their building painted. I
oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
And I literally looked at my buddy. I was like, why did I even ask you?
Yeah.
Like, well, I should have
That's
just
funny.
done it and made the county come out and yell at me for it. But no, I do. I think murals would be great. We just
Yeah,
had to,
that would be cool. Yeah, I like that. All right, so I think we improve landscaping. I got this one a couple times. Like,
Mhm.
duh. Yeah, come
Yep.
on.
And this will be one of the things that, this lighting district gets put through. I mean, it's going to change everything. It's going to change the landscaping. It's really it's a huge deal.
Yeah,
I mean, it will legit change downtown
Yeah.
Palm Harbor.
yeah,
But that'll change the landscaping, and then, there's MSCU grant money that's available every year, and but you can only spend it on one-time cost, so you can't hire a landscaping company to maintain. But you can get a company to come in and put lights in the trees, trim the trees up, put lights in the
Okay.
tree. Like, that's a one-time cost,
okay,
and that's every single year. So the chamber gets it, merchants gets it, Parks and Recs gets it. Everybody gets it.
okay.
And so that's where you're seeing like little things done, and that's where we're now starting to all work together. Because before, it was everybody was doing,
Their own thing.
I'm going to take this and I'm going to do what benefits us.
Yeah,
To where we've sat down, the merchants sat down with the chamber, and even with Parks and Rec about Pop Stancil, doing stuff down at Pop Stancil downtown. All of us doing things collectively together.
yeah. And you guys have done some events like the Veterans Day event, right? You
Yep.
have coming up too.
Yep.
And that was a great. I think like we had talked about before, like the location for having an event down there is perfect.
Yeah, and so the people that used to run the Merchants and Main Street program back then, they owned businesses right there on Florida Avenue, right? So
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
events were right
That's
there
why they're
because
right there.
they got to sell all this stuff.
Yeah,
And it doesn't benefit me either way if it's down at the park or if it's no matter what, it's
Right.
right there, you know.
Yeah.
But everything down there is free. Not free. You got to rent the park out for a couple $100, whatever it is. And then Joe Sweat, once again, this dude has done so much.
Yeah.
Went in for free and put in all new electrical on the stage and did all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I had a 16-piece band out there.
Yeah.
And it was like, you could have been at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, all the power's there. A park.
Yeah.
You know, it's kid friendly. I mean, it's
The
ideal.
water right there, obviously.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything, you
Yeah.
know, and you're also not closing streets down. So
Right,
that
right,
takes,
right.
I mean, 90% of the process away.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go through the county. Parks and Rec already has something signed with Pinellas County that they are in charge. So once Parks and Rec signs off, you take it straight to the state. They give you your permit, your alcohol permit, whatever, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it saves you $15,000, whatever it is, because you close down the streets.
Oh,
You know, you got to pay
wow.
for a stage. You got to pay for lights. You got to close the streets down. You know what I mean? So now you're worried about cars being parked. And then the merchants also don't like it. You take up all their parking,
Yeah. Right.
which I could imagine. Yeah, it would aggravate me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Um.
Makes sense.
So yeah. But yeah, the park. I mean, we're utilizing that. Divine does events down there. Like we have our Oktoberfest that we do down there.
Okay.
Everything's right there.
Yeah.
You know, the bathroom's already there. You don't have to buy porta potties.
Porta potties. Yeah.
Parks and Rec even has people come out during our events and pick up the garbage.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
I mean, call me crazy. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
I think you're onto something
I
there.
think I might be. I think I might be.
All right. So the other one is community space, kind of playground, right? Just like a spot for the families to hang out, really. You know?
Have they been to Pop Stancil?
I don't know. But yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
literally, it's got
That's
a
the
playground
space.
right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got
Yeah.
gazebos with picnic tables. Like you said, it's got and the Parks and Rec just rebuilt that dock.
The dock, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's walkable too. I don't think people realize that. Like it's walk you can park downtown and walk
That's what I
down
told you
there.
earlier. People will not park and walk in Palm Harbor.
Yeah.
People go to Safety
Because
Harbor,
there's nothing
Dunedin.
to walk to. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to walk past a bunch of vacant lots,
You-
empty buildings.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
You
and
park it,
homes.
you eat your dinner, and then
Mm.
there's nothing else.
Right.
Get your ice cream.
Yeah. It's like, you know, and I'm sure you do it just like I do. You know, Dunedin, you just find a spot to park
Yeah.
and then you walk to where you're going. Same thing with Safety Harbor.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you're not going to be whatever. Half the time, you're not going to be able to park where you want to park in front of the business or whatever you're trying to go
Yeah.
to. So
Right.
you park down the road a little bit and it's literally right there.
Yeah. And two, it just made me think of this. Like even like so downtown Safety Harbor, we've gone there recently. It's just enjoyable. Like I'll park far away just to walk
Mhm.
down in downtown Safety Harbor.
Yeah,
just
you
'cause
can
it's
stop and do
enjoyable.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's cool little boutiques and shops and
Yeah.
ice cream and coffees. And, you know, they got that seafood market down there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
much that Palm Harbor could do.
Yeah.
There's so much that we could do.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So Pop Stancil, go check it out. Weekly markets was another one I got quite a bit, you know, kind of like what Dunedin does with their downtown Dunedin market.
Yeah. So I know a couple people have talked about it. I think that they've even tried it a few times, but
Yeah.
it's getting the community to actually come out and
Support it. Yeah.
People talk about, I'm going to say this over and over. People keep on saying, we want this, we want this. We got to go out and support it. You got to
Yeah.
go out and do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you want an event, like you want this stuff. Well, you have to show up and support it, you know?
Yeah. And there's a lot that goes into that too, right? I think like we talked about before, like the communication piece
Mhm.
of it, like that's part of it. And then just the consistency, right? Because we've had so much change and, you know, events are happening and then they're not happening, right? There's a lot of that. So once we build that consistency, that central voice and centralized communication,
Yeah.
that changes.
I think it will.
Yeah.
And we will get the markets. And
Yeah.
and Pop Stancil is a perfect place for that because you don't have to close streets down. You
True
don't-
too.
you
Yeah.
and I know somebody tried it there. And there's something else that goes on down there. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's like young entrepreneurs or something like that, but they set up
Yeah.
a whole bunch of tents. I mean, and it's cool.
Acton Academy, I think is what they
Okay.
do. They do. Yeah. So it's like under 10, like they create a little business and sell their
Yep.
products and stuff.
It's great.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to go through the whole process of closing streets down.
Yeah.
You know, and in my opinion, makes everybody happier.
Yeah.
You still have all your parking
Right, right.
downtown. You still have everything. And like you said, it's not a far walk. And then you even have big time carts that even says for like our events that are down there, they'll shuttle people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got to advertise that a little bit better
That's
too.
great. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know, there are most of downtown, most of the community wants it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
there's just a
100%.
few that just don't either care or,
Yeah. Yeah. Which
but
is normal, right?
yeah, oh
There's
yeah,
always
of
those
course.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, if you had everybody on board for everything, then nothing would be fun, right?
Yeah. Got to create a little excitement.
Yeah.
All right. So the other one I got was dog park. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Like a dog park, like downtown. I don't know how you could do that.
Um, well, you can take your dog to the park. That's already there down at Pop Stansel for one. But
It seems like Pop Stance is the answer for all of these, right?
yeah, it is. But and so I'll go ahead and say I don't care. People have taken advantage of the whole dog thing, bringing them into restaurants, bringing them to bar.
Oh yeah,
When I was younger, you never saw a dog in a
in a
restaurant.
restaurant.
You never saw a dog in a restaurant. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Breweries, I think, are the ones at fault
yeah,
for allowing kids into bars, allowing dogs into establishments, stuff like that. Off topic a little bit about dogs, but like, when was it ever okay for your parents to bring you into a bar?
yeah. I was just thinking about this because one of the breweries in Dunedin, I think they're like the only ones that are like 18 and up.
Mhm.
And we was like us being new parents, we're like, dang, that's kind of a bummer. But now that you say that, I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense.
But it wouldn't be a big deal, and it's the same thing with dogs, for instance, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
and we have a lot of dogs and a lot of kids that come into the brewery, and I
Yeah,
would say 90% of them are fine.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you don't. My biggest thing is I always tell everybody, if I don't notice them, then I don't care.
right.
You know what I mean? But when you bring a dog in that barks constantly at every single person that
Yeah,
walks in the door, or barks at, you know what I mean? Or the parents that come in, and this is what ruins it. You get the parents that come in, they sit at this table here, and we were even on the news once because there was a big incident that happened.
okay.
But parents get drunk, and the next thing you know, their kids are running around destroying stuff. And then whenever you go say something to the parent, hey, you're a kid. The next thing you know, you have an
Yeah,
issue. Same thing with
yeah,
dogs. Like, hey,
yeah.
can you keep your dog quiet? Oh, is it a problem? Well, kind of.
It's
It's like
obnoxious for
it's
everyone else.
barking at
Right,
everybody.
right.
Um, I kind of got off topic a little bit, but dog park, I mean,
Yeah. We got dog parks, right? I don't see it. I get the appeal for people to like
most
it's
people,
walkable. You
yeah,
want to
what
bring
do people, they want to open? Well, listen, there's 2 open fields right now you can take your dog to and run around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you need? A bench?
There's your
Like,
dog park, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard, if you want to do anything at park, how about a skate park for kids? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Give kids something, give kids
Yeah.
something to do outdoors. Your
Right,
dog, I'm
right.
not worried about your dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the last one I have here is like kind of like similar to what you just mentioned, but like outdoor games / kind of like beer garden
Mm.
type feel or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I know Mike is trying to do something with the old Masonic Lodge, but it's a historic building, so he's got to go through a whole bunch of, hoops and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got a great property for that.
Yeah,
Like
but that's what he wants to do. Like, he wants to make it all outside thing with games and stage and food trucks and
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be great. We just got to get
Yeah.
it done. Same thing
Yeah.
with, like, the old Peggy's and the old Volk. He owns that property that's sitting there. He's got great plans for it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we just got to get it done.
Execute. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to get it done.
Yeah.
But I think, more stuff for the kids would be my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Give kids something to do instead of going out and causing trouble and ruckus and stuff like that. And 'cause there's a lot of kids in Palm Harbor,
Yeah.
a lot, and
For
there's
sure.
really, I mean, besides fishing, I mean, I don't know what else they can really
Yeah.
do.
Someone mentioned that because like like Dunedin is I think does a great job. Like they have like some family
Mm.
friendly stuff and everything, but then there's a lot of stuff that's not really family friendly, right?
Mm.
Some of their events, nighttime events and whatnot. So like downtown or Palm Harbor and in general, just being more residential, more family oriented would be great for that to like kind of separate themselves. Like, hey, if you're a family, like come hang out in downtown Palm Harbor.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
we've got you covered.
that's what I like.
Yeah.
Make everything. And that's my biggest thing, like, why we do our events, and not just like the money cost and stuff like that, but all of our events that Divine does down at the park and the merchants, they're all family friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a playground there. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're not going until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night to where people are schmammered and acting a fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's kids games, there's face painting, there's, axe
Mhm.
throwing, there's all this stuff. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would also very much benefit Palm Harbor.
Yeah.
Give more stuff for families to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dog parks. I mean, walk your dog on the Pinellas Trail. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Sweet, man. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on the podcast and doing it again. And yeah, dude, thanks for being here.
Always. I appreciate it, too.
Yeah.
Always a good conversation.
Yes.